What is up, fam? Dean Soto here with you again. Let's drop some beats. I don't know how to drop beats, but we'll have some fun. Today, we're talking about money is time. That's what I kind of want to call this. I'll probably have to change it for SEO reasons, but money is time. You always hear that time is money, but in fact, it's actually the opposite. Money is time. And I'm going to explain that right after you subscribe. It takes 2 seconds of your time. I just did 3 here, but it said 2. Try to keep you on your toes. It takes 2 seconds of your time and does you and me a lot of good. So like and subscribe, click the notification bell and everything like that. All right, so we are on our way to jiu-jitsu, some Brazilian jiu-jitsu into the city. And I'm guessing I'm going to have to run some errands as well because I have a lot of things going on this next few days. But it takes me about 40 minutes to get to the city. 40. Well, I should say, if I'm going to jiu-jitsu, it takes about 40 minutes. I have a private lesson right now, and I'll probably be late, but he's always late. He was actually late about an hour the last time, so he can deal with it. You always hear that time is money. And that comes from, in my opinion, a very scarce mentality. It's a mentality of, hey, don't waste my time because I got a lot of things going on and I don't want to have to deal with whatever it's that type of mentality. What most successful people seem to, at least I know I do, seem to follow is money is time. I told this story in one of my email newsletters, but when we first got to the country, when we first got to the country, we're city folk. I am a city folk, born and raised, Huntington Beach, California. And no, I didn't come from a trust fund family, rich family at all. Very middle class. In fact, I lived with my mom for a time and we were dirt poor. Going from motel to hotel to apartment to trailer home, all those different things. We did not come from a great background. Coming up here into the country on 20 acres, I had no clue what I was doing. Absolutely nothing. We got a really nice house, our dream home, just before the market started taking off. So for us, it was perfect timing, absolutely perfect timing. And when we got here, one thing was clear about the property that we were on, and one thing that was clear about pretty much any property that you have in the country. Something that you need in the country that we did not have. And what do you think that thing is? And it's not cheap. You give up? Fencing. We had no field fencing, no fencing at all around our house. And why is that important? Well, in the country, you have coyotes, you have mountain lions, you have bobcats, you have wild dogs, you have wild pigs, you have a whole mess of stuff. Tons of stuff that want to get in and get near you and say hi when you don't really want them to come and say hi. We didn't have any fencing whatsoever. At the time, my business was about 10 times less than what it is now. And so I had to make choices. Do I go and figure out, I'm a man, I can be a country boy, right? Do I go and figure out how to do this field fencing that I see as I'm passing by over here? It doesn't look that difficult, right? Do I do that, or do I pay someone to do it? Which, at field fencing, right, at least at the time, which I'm sure it's more expensive now, was about $15 per foot. $15 per foot. Not cheap. Especially when you have like 1,000 feet or 1,000 feet to go and fence off. You're looking at $15,000. So I decide I'm going to do it. I can choose to spend that time to be on my business, or I can go and figure it out myself. I watched a bunch of YouTube channels, and I was determined. We can make this happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to make this thing happen. So I get out there, watch YouTube channels on how to do field fencing. And in field fencing, there's a couple of different things. First, you have what are called T-posts, or these metal posts, these very thin metal posts that your fencing actually clips onto. Those things, you have this driver thing. It's like, it looks, I don't even know how to explain how it looks, but you basically take this pile driver, or whatever you would call it, and you just go boom, 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 boom onto the thing, and it drives down in. And it's very easy, very boom, boom. You're gonna get a workout in, but it's relatively easy to do. The next thing you have are what are called peeler cores. Peeler cores are these round pressure treated things of wood. You can get them in different lengths and sizes. Those go in between, I would say every 5 to 6 T-posts, you put those in between, and those provide stability for the T-posts. Because if you just put T-posts, you'll find that they're very wobbly. They'll stay there, but you're not going to have a tight fence, right? And then whenever you have ups and downs on your land, you're going to need what are called H-braces. So those are peeler cores. You have 2 peeler cores, and then a bracing peeler core in between them. And that keeps it, because of the land going up and down, it keeps it stable on the up and down. And then on top of that, you have bracing, usually like an H-brace type thing, on the corners, because the corners are essentially like your weakest points of your fence, right? It's the weakest point because it's constantly pulling on those corners. It's pulling in on those corners, so you need to make sure that those are braced so they're not pulling in. So I'm looking at all of this and I'm thinking, yeah, I think I can do this. Got my pile driver, got my T-post, got my, what's that called, post hole digger, got all of that. And then I realized I am in a very rocky, hilly place. And I start lining up all these T-posts, and it's looking all wonky and everything like that. And by the time I get to my 10th T-post, I'm just thinking, this is not working. I am making the wrong decision right now. And it's not that it was a bad decision. It was actually a really good decision, because it helped me to see what I was good at and what I wasn't. Make sure the sound. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Talking for 10 minutes, and that would suck if this wasn't actually recording. So I decide I'm done. I'm looking and looking at the line that And it's just not happening. I don't know what I was thinking. It's not happening. I ended up calling a handyman that did a lot of stuff around my house. He comes out, looks at the T-posts that I did and the fencing that I started on, and he just busts out laughing. You know, this is a country boy. He's been in the country for a long time. He just starts laughing because there was no way this fence at all was going to stand the test of time. It might have gone 1 year maybe and collapsed if I were to start actually clipping on the fencing to it and everything. It just was not right at all. So I'm like, fine, whatever, dude, just you do it. Okay, you're the master at this. I'm going to go back to my business and start growing that. Well, my business started growing about, I would say, 10% a year. Sorry, 10% a month after month almost. Because I was able to focus on the business, and I forked over essentially the $15,000 that it was going to cost. I forked over the $15,000 to him, and while he's building this amazing sturdy fencing, I've literally had boulders that I was using my excavator with get away and hit this fence, and it barely did anything to the fencing. I let him do what he was good at so that I could do what I was good at. And yes, at the time it stung because I was thinking, oh, $15,000. I can do so much with that $15,000. I can do a lot of other things, you know. But that gave me the space to do the things that I was good at, right? That gave me the space to do the things that I knew I was good at. Money is time. There are many, many times where my family members, friends, and so on think I'm nuts, think I'm crazy when I don't go 20 miles to save $1 on gas, save $1 something on gas. We have an Indian reservation nearby where I can go and get gas for about $1.50 cheaper than where it is in normal California because of all the taxes. Sometimes I'll go, but most of the time I won't, because that extra amount of time isn't worth me not being able to talk with a client, not being able to reach out to prospects, not being able to do things that are very valuable to me, my business, and my time. Money, when used properly, you have to understand that most people think that money is the scarcest resource. A lot of people think that it's hard to get money. And in some cases it is. But it's not your most scarce resource. You can never get back time. You can never, ever get more time at all, ever. You have the same hours of the day that I do, that Elon Musk does, that my jiu-jitsu teacher does. All of these people have the exact 24 hours in a day. It's really how are you going to choose to use that time. Well, money is a great leverage of time. I'm not telling you to go spend money to just go fruitlessly spend money, but use money as a means to save time. Okay? Use money if you need to hire somebody to do your lawn instead of you doing your lawn for 2 hours. That extra 2 hours can be spent learning a new trade, learning a new business, things like that. The more that you are able to leverage money, I highly suggest books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great book. If you have never read it, you have to read it. If you want to have any sense of financial stability and freedom, Rich Dad Poor Dad, because it changes your mindset to think in this way. So what are you doing right now that you might be wasting time on that you could pay? It could be cleaning your pool. It could be to go hire a pool cleaner. It could be mowing your lawn. Go hire someone to mow your lawn. That extra hour or two can be used to find new leads, whatever it is. And if you have a thriving business, maybe it's hiring that person to do something that you shouldn't be doing anyway. Maybe you're doing accounts receivable, payable, or whatever, something that you just don't want to let go. Hiring another person to get that out of the way. So, what's that one thing that you're doing? Challenge you to get rid of that one thing and use money to leverage your time. All right, talk to you soon. I'm going to be hitting the gym soon and catch you on the next video. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.